Right now,
it's jumping and playing in water. This thing's a beast.
Here we are in Wilkinson County, Georgia, and it's the Camp Benny group. Our buddies Eric and Joe. Guys, we're just incredibly grateful that you would invite us to join you at camp this week. We've had a lot of laughs and fun together already so far. We've got a few days left yet.
Yeah. Can't complain about the food.
Oh my gosh. Food has been amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah. Appreciate all your hard work to, help get us all set up and everything. Just let us show up and hunt these stands. I mean, you guys have been working so hard, at just keeping everything up. We're pretty impressed.
Yeah, very. A lot of work.
Up at Camp Benny, we just got a 40-acre chunk, and then we got all this public land that we hunt. And in your case, you have a pretty decent chunk of private that you're able to manage. And that's pretty neat. A little bit of difference there. If you would, just tell us a little bit maybe about yourselves and your camp, and maybe the name of the camp, and any history, that kind of thing.
Go ahead, Joe. Take it away. You're the founder. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, it really. One of our buddies, JD, and I started the club years ago, 14 years ago. We both hunted with Flying Bee, and then we just found a piece of property, started hunting it. We started a group, and it used to be called the Pig Out, where we would come up here and hunt pigs and drink a lot of beverages and do a lot of hunting. And then we kind of switched from hunting to just drinking beverages, and then we said we need a name for our club. And JD's actually the one that came up with it. We had a bunch of different names, and we called it Skinnin' and Grinnin', and that's how it started. So 15 years of us just screwing around and trying to get more and more property, and just kind of became a unit. And JD left to go hunt with his wife. He just got married, and Joe came on board full time, so now it's just Joe and I.
Yeah. And so within your group, you guys are kind of primarily the deer hunters, but you have other buddies that are hog hunters. Is that kind of how that works? Or
well, they think they're hog hunters, so they come up here and they get their cigarettes out and their drinks out and forget to load their guns or bring a gun and go out in the woods and talk like we're talking now and see absolutely zero pigs and go home with no pigs and probably stop at the store and buy a bunch of meat and tell their wife, look what we got, and then she's like, it looks like it's store-bought.
But had a great time while they were here.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Gotcha. Not real serious hunters necessarily.
No.
They're serious about being up here.
There's some workers like Billy and Mark. They come up and work and help us out. They come up and we need tree stands moved and we need help with feeders and clearing stuff out. Those are guys that come up and just help us out.
I think they come up more for the food because I mean we got a camp chef that
It's
travels with us.
understandable.
More for the food than
Or
the
camaraderie.
work. Yeah.
Yeah. So on the note of camaraderie, that's a good point. You know, it's what is deer camp to you guys?
I mean, there's a lot of things we could say. I could say. I think for me, it's just I started as a young kid hunting. Went away to college for a little bit and got away from it and missed it. And you know, hunt camp to me is just being up here with good people and obviously good food and you know, just getting away from city life. I guess life in general. Not that I don't want to be with my wife and kids, but sometimes getting away from where you live is healthy for a marriage and for a male or a female or whatever, and you know, something different. That's what it is for me.
Yeah.
For me, it's I just started deer hunting 4 years ago, and coming up here maybe like 8 years ago, just doing hog hunting and just hanging out with Eric. I'm grateful for him, you know, introducing me to hunting, but it was just a break from reality, you know, break from the stress and the headaches that you know you get at home and work and just everything, you know. So it's just nice to come up here and just kind of get a stress relief and just have a good time with your friends and eat good food, hang out in the woods, and just have a good time. I mean, at the end of the day.
Check out.
Yeah.
Reset.
Yeah, and you go home and you feel relaxed and you're ready to go for the week, you know.
Recharge. Yeah.
So.
How about you, Doug?
Well, I tell you what, times like this where you can break away from that normal everyday thing, and to get invited to a place like this is just amazing, because it's normally you go to deer camp and it's just work, and you're trying to sneak your hunts in and stuff like that. So yeah, Eric, you and Joe, you can't imagine how appreciative we are of that, knowing that you invited us down and we came in, and
We've been really lazy this week.
yeah, right. we'll do everything we can do, and we'll do everything you
Jamooches.
ask us to do, but
Yeah.
it's like everything you've got done, you've got ready. It's just like the biggest part of drama about this camp is where are we going to sit in the morning.
That's right. That's the truth.
Terrible.
That's
real.
the only drama up here. I mean,
Yeah.
with our group. You know. Where are we gonna sit? Where are you gonna sit tomorrow, by the way?
Yeah. I got
Quad.
an answer for that. How about you, Jeff?
Boy, well, I'm just going to second what Doug says. That I was extremely grateful for the opportunity to be invited up here. Eric and Joe, I mean, you just see all the work and the hard work that they and dedication that they have to their property. It's super evident. I mean, for all the getting everything set up, getting everything cleared, all these. I mean, they have tons of stands. I think I asked them how many stands you guys think you guys have. And
They don't know.
they don't even know. And they're like, we're out there, you know, we're out there in the quad, and you're like, oh, they'll stop and like, oh,
Oh yeah,
we have a stand here. We forgot about that one. You know, so it's definitely evident. The passion's definitely there. You can definitely see that it has to be for the outcome that they have here. Again, and then being able to come up and yeah, like I said, we kind of feel like lazy. We're usually, hands on and like Ben said, it's like just if you need us to do anything, just let us know. But it's been a riot. It's beautiful up here. So I'm came up from Florida. These guys, Ben and Doug, came from Michigan area. But coming up here kind of reminds me, it looks a lot like northern Michigan with the hills and the trees. So it really made me feel like home being up here. So I absolutely loved it. There's different areas that you can go. You got what they call the bottoms. And then they've got, they showed us some areas up on a hill where you can just see for like ever. It's just gorgeous up here. And again, I just want to thank you guys. Obviously, Joe's knocked it out of the park with the cooking here. So, yeah, I have to go home and I'll be thinking, oh boy, this isn't as good as what Joe made.
He taught you how to cut a red onion, though, didn't he?
That's right. Yeah, I paid attention to that. Yeah.
I even
cut
paid
the
attention
onion.
to that.
Yeah.
It's no more my bunions. It's Joe. I need you to cut my onions.
Yep.
Help me with my onions.
I remember.
Joey.
I remember. Leave the root side.
You did.
Give the root.
Two slices and then the vertical slices.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll take that home with me for sure.
Yep. Lots of pro tips.
Mm-hmm.
Even how to keep the coons out of the feeder. We learned all kinds of stuff this week already. Tell us a little bit about the hunting club. I think, yeah. Help us understand that piece.
This club
Yeah.
or our club? So
Probably
Bull.
both in a sense.
Okay, so originally I came up here to hunt in this club. So they have a lot of members, a lot of property. So I hit a deer on the road, met a guy, asked him if I could lease his property. He said, I'll call you. I waited months and months and months. It was the worst months of my life. He called me back and said, you can hunt my property. So I left Bulls. We started that club. That's where we're at now. The Flying Bee is smaller than it was 15 years ago, 14 years ago. Bull's done this since the 70s. He's had this property since the 80s. He started here, and I mean, he's still going strong. I mean, there's how many campers you think in here? 50, 60? I've never
there's a
counted
lot.
them.
Maybe more. Yeah, down the bottom is a lot.
So, I mean, he just
grows
brings
and
them in
grows and grows.
Yeah, so he's got guys in here that kill big bucks, and he's got guys in here that don't kill any bucks. And, you know, again, it's a great place to hunt, but we kind of like to be by ourselves, you know, and hunt with good, not saying that they're not good people, but good people where you can trust in the woods and you know they're not going to sit in your spots or, shoot at you or do that kind of stuff. But I really don't know much about that club anymore because I got out of it. I just know that we stay here. We stay in our own little spot. We got JD that's behind us. We grew up together. Byron, who's a customer of mine. Joe and Bill, who I grew up with. Our good buddy down the hall or down the trail is Will. And I mean, that's pretty much our group. You guys didn't get to meet Will this weekend, but he's a really good hunter. He's a cool dude too. You'd like him, maybe. Yeah, possibly.
Maybe.
Probably not.
No, not at all. Will, when you watch this, they won't like you. Trust us.
That's fair. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. You got different camps and campers all in a. It's almost like a neighborhood, like a residential plot, but everybody, I don't know, seems to keep to themselves. Or
Yeah.
At least leaves us alone.
So you have the gentleman that came up a couple times. His name's Roy. He actually came up with JD. He's from Hudson, which is just north of Tampa, where we're from. We're just west of Tampa. And so now he moved up here full time. So he lives here full time. His neighbor next door, George, he is from, I want to say Arkansas. He moved here probably 10 years ago. He lives here permanently. And then you have Manny and his girlfriend. They live here full time. Bull and his wife, and then Lightning, the son. So there are, 5 or 6 people right here that are here full time, watching everybody's stuff.
It's kind of neat because there's facilities here, like there's a barn over our shoulder, and maybe I'll overlay some of the video of that and over this conversation. But you have essentially a buck pole where you can go skin out your animal. There's a chest freezer in the barn, put your game there. There's a restroom with a shower, opportunities to get bags of ice, and just kind of all these nice amenities. You have electricity, something we can have a deep appreciation for from coming from the big north, up in the UP there. Some other just, I guess, subtle differences I noticed is when Joe shot a couple of does on the opener, we got him loaded up and off he went to the processor, but no gutting or anything like that. Just very different than our Michigan hunting. No processor generally would take an animal unless it was gutted, but that seems to be more than the norm here, acceptable. Kind of interesting. Of course, it's so warm that you're generally not hanging your deer and stuff. We're hanging them for a week to weeks potentially.
It was great. I just backed up the truck. They jumped in the back of my truck, pulled the deer out, asked me what I wanted. Check, check, check. See ya. What's your phone number? Your name?
Yep. Off
See
you
ya.
go.
Well,
Did you give him a tip?
Hmm?
Did you give him a tip for
I'll
taking?
give him a big tip later.
Okay.
Stock market tip, something like that.
No cash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, so you guys have watched some of the Camp Benny content, I assume. What are some differences that maybe you recognize that maybe we do up in the Great White North versus here?
Well, I think you said it. I mean, we have electricity. That's big.
We got air conditioning.
You don't need heat.
Well, you've got
There are
water
some
too.
days when
Water
we do
too.
need heat. Yeah, we have the water.
Yeah, the water's nice.
Yeah, there's a few days out of the year that we do need heat, but it's rare. I don't use the heat because I just like to be cool, but the other guys do for some reason. Big differences. The land's a little different. It seems to be similar, but there are some differences. I don't think you guys have the amount of bottoms that we have. You know what I mean? It's down there. The one we looked at today, you don't have the pigs, right?
For
You
sure.
don't have the pig beds, the wallers that you just drive up on and get stuck in for. Need someone to pull you out.
Joey, get the toe strap.
And cut my onions. I mean, I think those are really that's what stands out to me. It's different too. You guys probably have. You said how many acres is that?
40.
40. No, the management area.
Oh, like the public land? Oh, you can find chunks that are 100,000+ acres.
100,000. See, we don't have that here. So all these guys are probably hunting the same 2 or 3, 4,000 acres, and there's 60 guys trying to hunt the same stands. Every 100 yards there's a guy. Whereas you see where we're at, we don't have that problem because there's just a few of us.
Yeah, there's places up there they bring horses in and they'll pack in. They'll park and they'll take their horses in.
That's amazing.
Just miles and miles where you might not even, a deer might not even know what you even are or even seen a human being. So that's impressive up there.
I think
I'm
the
sure.
neat thing the other day was when I was stopped in the road, I could see you climbing the ladder, and I could see you climbing the ladder, or up there playing with your lights. I was watching you guys, and through the woods, it's a long way, but when you're sitting on the road and you can see, it's like, man, it looks like really far, but I can see both of them. Like,
Sure.
He was just happy we made it to our stands.
We lost one.
They were just happy I got them to their stands this morning. Eric was worried about that.
Oh, I had nothing but confidence.
Put us in
He's like, you sure you got this? You sure you got this? I got it.
right before he pulled away, he was asking me, where is it again? I was like,
Don't
Dude.
worry, I'll get the buggy stuck.
yeah, stuck is right.
Came out easy.
We were stuck 3 times already. In what, 3 days?
Yeah,
On the hill? Stuck.
dead battery.
We're fine.
Mud hole? Stuck.
Pig waller.
Pig waller?
Stuck.
Stuck.
That's where stories come from.
Yeah, there's some stories.
That's
Yeah,
how they
always
come.
an adventure.
And then we got lost. Was that yesterday morning? Because he's like, I think we passed the stand. I was like, yeah, I think no, what's up here? No. We were walking back and forth. That was kind of
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
I was giggling about that all the way. I was like, unreal.
So, Joe, did you get your first deer at camp?
Yeah, I got my first 2 deer one night, then the next night back-to-back days by the firehouse. You guys haven't been back there yet, but
Okay.
maybe we'll take a little field trip tomorrow or the next day, and I'll show you guys around over there.
That's a 75-acre chunk, isn't it, that you guys have?
That's where I got my first buck. And first doe, when I got it, I was by myself. And right away I called Eric and said, hey, what do I do? I got
Yeah.
it. Pretty sure I got it. It ran. I don't know where it went.
And now you're shooting 2 in one day. Nice job.
Yeah.
He would have probably shot 2
But I
more
went
head
and he said just, leave it alone for about 30 minutes and then, go look for it. And I found it and pulled it out and had it all ready just to throw on the cart. And we brought it.
I know you're hunting with a 350 Legend now, but you probably didn't have that back then. What were you hunting with?
30-06.
That'll do it.
Eric's old one that he had when he was a kid. He let me use it.
Sweet.
Yep.
Well, then it was definitely sighted in.
He sights in all my rifles. Make sure they're right before I go out.
Yep. Eric's a pretty good buddy, huh?
He's a great buddy.
Sometimes.
Seems to be.
What was it, April initially when I think you sent an email about possibly getting together? Then we did a phone call, 3-way call between us, and kind of started putting the details together and stuff. And I said, yeah, can I bring a couple buddies along? You said, no problem. And yeah, that was. I'm glad we.
I'm
we
glad
did
you guys
this.
came, yeah.
Having a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully get those big bucks the next 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna.
Mm-hmm.
Doggone it, we're gonna.
We're gonna.
Sure of it.
Somebody
will
better.
happen. Something will happen.
Crunch time.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
might get into that all-day hunting thing.
Yeah.
Done that before.
Yep. Rarely do we get this done early.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of got this idea show up, get your big buck and sleep in and
Yeah.
all that. It just doesn't quite work that way.
No.
Kind of glad though too, earn it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We could necessarily say that because we kind of got to show up and hunt, existing spots and that. But we've been doing some scouting and plenty of riding around and
Mm-hmm.
all that good stuff.
I'm
Maybe
just
a half a credit.
I'm kind of super excited about having 2 opening days of rifle season this year.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking too as I was kind of working through that. It's really early. When I was in Wyoming a couple weeks ago, thinking of that mule deer buck I shot 15 minutes after Kurt was supposed to pick me up on the last hunt. It couldn't have been any later. Well, anything else, anything you guys would like to discuss before we wrap up?
Yeah, I've got a question for Doug.
Oh no, it's for all of us.
Well, yeah, but this one's for you because you wanted to cheat and
I wanted the
have
inside
time.
information.
Yeah.
He goes, I got a really good question. As we were driving back, I go, well, what is it? So I can have a little leg up on everybody else.
Nope. He wanted to outdo everyone. How many deer do you think you don't see when you're sitting in the woods? Seriously. How many deer do you think you do not see? Whether it walks behind you or you look left and it comes out to the right, you just catch the butt.
Well, if you're like Joe and sleeping, you don't see any of them.
Hey, I'm the one that got 2 deer so far.
Yeah, but we unleashed them for you.
Yeah,
We had them
took
there
the bells
already.
off.
Yeah.
That's a really good question.
It is.
'Cause,
It's,
I mean-
there's a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that today.
Even the ones that I had come in tonight, I had no idea they were there. I started taking all my camera stuff down and caught movement just up, to my right from where I was, and then they were gone. It's like they saw me, I didn't see them. And how many times does that happen? I think it's a lot.
Happens a lot.
How many of them deer pass? I mean, if you got 100 yards of view, how many of them deer pass 150 yards out of your view? And just
Sure.
there's a lot of activity, and they're all moving around out
Oh,
there.
yeah.
I mean, the way we were walking around today, the tracks were just countless.
Crazy. It's crazy.
I think it happens a lot more
Yeah.
than you think it does.
Or they
It's a good question.
Or they just lay
Makes
down.
you think.
They could be laying down 50 yards from where you're at.
Yeah, and you wouldn't know.
I've had so many times where you start to pack up, and you're stand up, and then and there you go. Deer's probably been there for who knows how long.
But that's what made me think of it, because when I was getting out of the stand, I lifted the safety rail and I put my bag on and I'm looking and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. They're right there. I didn't see them because I always look before I leave. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And then she just blew and blew and blew. I was like, oh my goodness. How many times does this happen and we don't know?
Mm-hmm.
Or the other thing that happens a lot is you're like staring at the same scenery, and then all of a sudden,
It's different.
and then there's a deer there, and it's just like materialized there. It's walked in, and you just didn't even notice it, that it's standing there staring at you at that point. So that's what's one of the cool things. You just never know what's going to happen out there.
I think that's the neat thing about hunting some of the stands we have. You know, you could do the tripod that we messed around with today. You could be looking one way and never even realize that that deer's walking behind you. Then you kind of turn to check the woods line, and there she is walking in, or there he is. You're like, I could have shot that.
Or you see,
Where did you come
see
from?
the back half of it going into the woods, right?
That's what I always get, the tail.
It's
the flag.
terrible. It's terrible. I wish I never even see it at that point where you just see the tail going in.
How did I miss that?
Yeah, it can be frustrating too, and that, I mean, some of, I think of it as the bush or the jungle down here, essentially, where you got this,
Yeah, it's terrain.
this path, that you can see 100 yards, that's, 15, 20 feet wide maybe. And, if you're going after a big boy and, the love's starting to get in the air and whatnot, and he's interested, he knows not to just go graze out in that path. He's not concerned about food. It's all about the ladies. And so you might see a face peer out of it if you're lucky. And usually the next step is
Flash.
across. So if you aren't really seasoned, even if you're seasoned, that's extremely challenging to
You've got to be
pull
ready
that
all
shot
the time.
off, right?
Yeah.
To anticipate his next move. It's like playing chess, really, right? It's coming at least. If you're seasoned with it. If you're not, you will be quickly, because you'll be disappointed quickly on how that kind of goes down. It's tough. There's no question about it. And then you got the big woods of the south, essentially. So thinking of all this area that's not ag, you don't have a cornfield or a soybean field to narrow in on, or food, water, and cover just to hunt those staging areas and whatnot. You just got, a bunch of oaks throughout, or other natural foods, beech trees maybe, or I don't know what all you got here, but I'm sure it cycles, cyclical. So doing your scouting, you have sign everywhere. They could be in this area, this pocket, maybe, essentially. They're pretty social animals, so I think they're kind of have their hangouts, but that could quickly shift.
Oh yeah.
Based on food and whatever stage they are in season, throughout the year.
Yeah.
I don't know about Georgia, but I've heard in Florida that those deer will essentially breed year round. And so the rut is different than Michigan, where we can almost put that pin in it of, the peak of the rut kind of thing. You can almost depend on it within a date range. I don't know if you find that in Georgia, or...
Not as much as Florida. South Florida they open their season way early. And I think it's, I can't even tell you. And that's because of the period of the breeding with all the deer. It's crazy in Florida. Up here, it's normally right now till maybe mid-November, early, maybe up to November 11th, 12th, somewhere in there.
Okay.
So, I mean, we're probably experiencing a little bit of it right now, what they call the October lull or whatever.
Yeah.
So we're probably seeing some does hiding out, some bucks, just not running out, but the next couple of days it's got to get hot. One of you or all of you have to shoot the big boy.
Isn't there a second rut too, like in December?
So a lot of people believe in the second rut. I don't know if there really is a
Never
second
seen
rut. Yeah, I think
have in Michigan.
Yeah.
But,
I think
oh yeah.
I think it's just like, listen, it's just like any woman. Her cycle changes. I think a deer is close to a female, or they change just like a woman would. You know what I mean?
I don't care what state it is. If a doe is in heat, that buck will
Yeah.
pursue her.
Right.
He's not going to turn that down. I don't care what time of year it is.
Right, but somebody on one of the forums I'm on just had a pregnant doe like 2 weeks ago up here. So she didn't get bred early. She got bred real late. Maybe it was just that one deer, or maybe maybe it's multiple deer. I mean,
Yeah.
guess we need one of the biologists or someone to tell us how that works.
Sure.
I don't know.
Well, gentlemen, thank you again.
No, thank you guys.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, this
No
is
problem.
great.
Enjoyed you guys
Fantastic
coming up
time.
here. It's nice to meet you all.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, well, I mean, Joe and I got really tired of picking on each other, so we drew names out of a hat, and you guys won. So thanks for winning.
All right, good. Because
Yeah.
I've been really picking on Joe just as much as you have.
Yeah, Joe, our onions.
Come on, Joey.
So where's everybody sitting tomorrow? Where are you hunting?
Brisket.
I'm gonna drop you guys off, and I'll
Doug?
come back here and go to sleep.
Yeah,
I know
take a
he's
nap.
going.
Yeah.
What you got going on over here?
Some red snapper.
Oh my
Black and red snapper.
gosh.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Oh man.
This is a special treat.
That is a special treat. Today we're in Wilkinson County, Georgia, and we are just super excited to have the opportunity to meet Bull. Bull owns the Flying Bee Hunting Club, and that's where we've been staying this week and had the opportunity to share camp with a bunch of other folks that have deer camps as well. We're very passionate about deer camp, so this was, typically we're experiencing it in Michigan, but this week we got to experience it in Georgia, and we really appreciate you letting us join you. Could you share a little bit about Flying Bee, maybe how the name came and how long it's been, and maybe
Well,
some of the camps over the years, that kind of stuff?
I had a lounge down in Fort Myers, Florida. I had some people come in. My every day, and they got talking about Georgia, and we decided to come up to Georgia. We joined the hunting club up here, and we didn't make out. So I said, well, we'll start our own.
Okay.
So we started this club in 1984, and everybody decided to name it the Flying Bee, the same as the lounge in Fort Myers. Been here 39 years. Shot a lot of deer.
I'm sure you've formed a lot of friendships or relationships over the years.
Over the years, with people from Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky. We've had them from all over.
Now, have you noticed the whole deer camp experience, families and friends? Does that seem like something that's on the decline, or do you think it's growing? Or
No, it's growing every year. So, I've got people waiting to get in this club, and we just don't have room for them.
how does the club work? Do you have a hunting property that goes with that, or is it just a place to lodge?
Yeah, well, we have a bunkhouse. So if people don't have a trailer, we have 52 trailers here right now.
Wow.
That's about it. If you once in a while we get a guest or something, and he's not familiar with the people, he goes to a motel, out by 16.
Now, you were sharing with me a little bit yesterday that you've been a hunter yourself. You're a retired hunter now, but
Yeah, I have a pacemaker and everything now, and I
okay,
just can't take them hills and everything anymore.
sure.
Yeah, I used to go out west every year. Quit 5 years ago when I had another pacemaker put in.
I'm sure you've hunted other game other than deer.
Oh yeah, I used to hunt a lot of ducks in my younger years up in New York.
Okay. I think you might have shared with me. Did you moose hunt too, and elk hunt maybe?
Pardon?
Did you elk hunt?
Oh, I've elk hunted for years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where would you go?
I go to Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico. I've hunted out on the NRA Ranch in New Mexico, Raton, New Mexico. I've hunted out there.
And did you have a deer camp out there or elk camp?
No, we stayed at, they had cabins out there.
Okay.
We
Sure.
stayed at the cabin. We used to rent a place out in Colorado too, every year. Go out there for 10 days.
Do you have family here?
Yes, all my children live here now.
And you're all a hunting family?
Yes, yes. And I have three sons and a daughter. My daughter don't hunt.
But you've left quite a hunting legacy with your family.
Yes.
And you must value deer camp.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I believe that's what keeps me going.
What's so special about it?
Well, you get a chance to see people after you've been retired and everything. And I go around, mingle around all the hunting camps and see what everybody done for the day.
That's awesome. That's a pretty special thing you got going here. All these camps, you know, I have one hunting camp and we just love it so much. And to have, what, you say 62?
52.
52? That's just incredible. I've never even heard of that. When you did deer hunt, did you have a favorite rifle?
Yes. When I was a young man before I went in service, I started out with a 308. And when I come back home, I've always shot with a 7mm Browning.
Okay.
Still have it.
Anything maybe we didn't touch on that you might want to share about your place or your camp?
Well, we have a lot of guests. And I got some more people coming here soon that's interested. We never advertise or nothing, just a word of mouth.
Sure. And the deer hunting's popular, but as well as pig hunting?
Yeah, we have a lot of pigs here now too. I got some people come from Pennsylvania every year pig hunting.
Are you completely full for years to come, or is it possible that we should put out there that there's opportunities for people to come stay with you? Or?
Yeah, there's opportunities because sometimes we lose 2 or 3 members a year, maybe.
Maybe like a waiting list.
Yep.
Type of thing.
We have a waiting list.
So I noticed in the barn there was a sign, you know, that mentions, I mean, people could take showers, there's a restroom there, so they don't necessarily have to do all that, you know, within their camper. There's the facilities there. You got washer and dryer.
Washer and dryer, yeah.
Bags of ice, chest freezer, place to process your own animals.
Yeah.
Anything else I'm missing, maybe accommodations wise?
No, I don't think so. Pretty much covers it.
Well, very nice. You have a waiting list. If people are interested in learning more, should they call you, or do you have a website or anything like that?
I don't have a website. They just call me on my cell phone.
Okay.
I always have it with me every day. My cell number is 478-955-4517.
Very good. Well, thank you again. We're leaving 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. I finally got my buck tonight, just an hour before the end. Not any too early, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
But very grateful. Feel blessed to be able to spend this time with everybody this week. It's great. Thank you.
Been a pleasure having you here.
Yeah.